How are you going to avoid wasting your money when it comes to pay-per-click advertising? What's happening? I'm JC Agajanian, broker associate with the Whistle Realty Group at eXp, bringing you the recap of the Monday morning mastermind put on by the Fast Forward movement, as we do every week. Today we really went in on two topics. We didn't even get to the third one, but it's because the conversation was so lively and there was so much value and information being passed around that we just kind of camped out there. So we'll get straight to it. First of all, there is a new relocation program going on. This is for all my eXp people. I'm sorry if you're in another brokerage, but it's worth listening to anyways. This thing is really awesome and may actually make you think twice. And then of course, we're gonna get into working pay-per-click leads as well. What are some of the best practices and standard operating procedures when it comes to working this type of lead? So first and foremost, we have to talk about this new program. It's actually a company that was freestanding and eXp went and acquired it. It's called Bundle Select and it's really cool. You're basically have the ability now to partner with the company and offer their employees a 20% commission credit. And it all goes through eXp. And not only that, it's backed through like a whole concierge platform. What does it take to get involved? How are we going to go about this? Our heavy lift is not that heavy, really. The big thing is you have to get certified through the company and you have to pay an annual fee to participate in the program. But the most important part is it's up to us to go and make relationships with the local HR managers in the city that you live in. So the idea that most of us discussed this morning was basically, let's just dig into our sphere. Let's dig into our past clients. Let's scour LinkedIn, find out who we know, who, more importantly, who we've worked with and who can vouch for us and say we're professionals, that we know what we're doing, and make that introduction to someone in HR at that company. So that's like the big heavy lift. And honestly, I think this type of effort is going to be so worth it because you're setting yourself up for a reoccurring revenue stream. It's almost like back in the day when I had banks that I was signed up for that would give me a new property, every other week because of work I had done previously to get in with them. And then going forward, it was just ongoing from all the foreclosures. This is kind of akin to a large bank account like that, except you're setting yourself up with a company that is going to help their employees move about the country, or more importantly, even move about the city. Because especially if it's a super large company, they're probably going to have a official corporate relocation plan of some sort in place. But they probably don't have a plan to help someone move from Carmel Valley to La Jolla because that's not part of their deal. Well, we can come in and we can supplement that. And we can still take advantage of the fact that we're offering value, we're giving them cold hard cash, part of our commission back, but it's going to go to them and we're going to get deals that might not have other come about. More importantly, in this new market that we're in, where really it seems like the only people that are actually listing homes and buying homes are people that have to, not necessarily want to, we're connecting with people that have to do something, right? For one reason or another, they're moving because of work. So if you land the partnership yourself at said company here in town, and then you work the business, you don't only pay out a 20% referral fee. You have to keep this program going. So we're also going to be paying out an additional 5% to eXp to keep it going. So it's a 25% referral fee, but I don't know if you've been paying attention to what Zillow is doing lately, but it's a far cry from their, I think, sliding scale that goes up to 40% now for a lead from Zillow. Definitely happy to pay 25% to work my own business from a local employee that works in some of the companies that are close to me, and frankly that I've already got a connection with because of how I earned this position in the first place. The cool thing is, if you set up this relationship with one of these businesses in town, and you're going to now be plugged in as the key man that set it up nationwide. So if someone across the country working for this company moves and you're not working the business, it's some other agent that's working this business, that agent now has to pay a 30% referral fee because they're going to give a 20% cut to the client, 5% that's going to go to the program to keep it running, and 5% to you. It's pretty cool. So if you can really get in with some large companies, you could end up having referral fees coming in from all over the country without doing anything except establishing that relationship up front. So like I said before, the biggest way to leverage this is to get in touch with clients you've worked with in the past. Go through your database, find out who works for the biggest companies, because in the beginning, before this large product launch coming up in the beginning of next year, we're only going to be able to sign up 5 companies. And to be honest, we may not be chosen because somebody else may have a better connection at that company or have a better resume. We're not quite clear exactly how EXP is going to be selecting the person to be representative of each individual business. But what we do know is we got to get certified, we got to pay the annual fee, and we got to go hunting for businesses, because this is a huge opportunity for reoccurring revenue, both in the capacity of referrals coming in all over the country and actual transactions coming in your own city that you work in. So if you're part of the brokerage already, key into it, check it out. If you're not, and it's enough to make you think twice, give me a call. There's so many things that are valuable about this company, and this is just one of them. So if there's any part of you that's considering making a move anyways, you gotta give us a look. We're not just some recruiting brokerage. We have massive value that we offer our agents. So that's my little pitch there. We're going to move on and talk a little bit about pay-per-click advertising, PPC. As you would imagine, most of the conversation surrounded the Google pay-per-click model. Of course, there's other platforms and different ways people pay for advertising online, but traditional pay-per-click through Google and the Google My Business LSA ads, or local service agents, are the 2 main ways that people are utilizing this service. The first kind of bit of conversation that surrounded this topic that we talked about was, how are we going to respond to these people? What is a good script, or what is a good approach, if not a direct script, on these type of leads? Really, the consensus was, let's treat it like a Zillow lead with an option, like with an alternative. So obviously, hey, my name's JC. I work with the Whistle Group. I saw you were just checking out this home on my website. Do you want to go check it out? Treat it like a Zillow lead. Ask them if they want to go see the property. And you can add the caveat. Do you want to go see this home? I'm available later today or tomorrow. Or were you just kind of browsing, right? We want to give them that out, because honestly, these pay-per-click leads are usually pretty high in the funnel, pretty early in the process, and you don't want to put that pressure on them right out of the gate. Of course, if they are motivated and want to see a home, go show them the home and take them through your process. But if not, we need to practice some scripting and figure out how to really get to the root of their timing and motivation in order to stay in touch with them appropriately as time goes on. So I hope that you already have the mentality that you need to get that info. What kind of timing are they actually looking at? And then whatever they tell you, you got to cut it in half and follow up with them then. That's kind of old school Craig Proctor coaching from the early days that is probably permeated throughout the real estate industry by now. Deeper than that, just like when you're in a store and somebody comes up to you as soon as you walk through the door and they say, hey, how can I help you today? And you're like, I'm just browsing. Well, you're not just browsing, you're there to look at something, but you just want to be left alone for a minute. And chances are 20 or 30 minutes later, you're going to be at the cash register, right? People will tell you the same thing. It's going to be a year. It's going to be a year and a half. It's going to be 9 months. So we need to really find out what the actual timing is and find out, what's really got them motivated to click on some, first of all, type in keywords that match yours, and then click on your ad, which they know is an ad because everybody knows the top few are ads, and then go through and then give your name, give your phone number, give your email to a strange website just to look at some pretty homes. Like that alone demonstrates there's some motivation there. Something's going on, because people who are not interested don't just do that, right? So we want to figure out what the true motivation is and what's really got them, and what the true timing is to go with it. So, we might say, use a little bait of some sort. Like, hey, you know what? We actually come across off-market listings with some regularity. We're part of a big company here. I'd love to present those to you, but what time do you think would be too soon to send something like that your way? And if they're going to give you a timeline that's probably shorter than whatever that first block of time was, and that's the real timing. And then, of course, you're going to cut that in half for your follow-up, right? So we need to cut through the clutter. We need to understand the mentality. They're not trying to lie to you. They're just trying to get a little space. They don't want to feel like the person in the store with a sales agent that showed up as soon as you walked through the door. And so we have to understand that and have a little sensitivity to it, but we also need to find out what the truth is. That was a bit about working the lead in general once they come in, especially with local service ads, but also with typical pay-per-click ads. Speed to lead is hugely important. You got to just answer the damn phone. We had an agent speak up and say she's not even doing anything very special. We talked about so many ways of following up and drips and AI campaigns to have text messages with people down the road and all this stuff. And she's like, I don't have any of that, but I just answer my phone all the time. She's like, you would be shocked at how many people are going through the Google My Business, of course. This is a little bit different than the pay-per-click ad, but going through the Google My Business local service ads and just calling people, and they're not interested in leaving a message and seeing if somebody's going to call back. If the first agent doesn't answer, they hang up. She said one time somebody said 7 agents didn't answer their phone from ads they're paying for on Google My Business. She answered her phone and people are interested in getting together and having a conversation about buying some real estate. So answer the damn phone and do it quick. I mean, if you've got any sort of campaigns running, if you're not going to be the point of contact, have someone designated to do that for you, because you've got to be on the speed to lead program as soon as possible. There's another hugely important piece of kind of data or just something that we don't always talk about, and that is just an average reach out attempt. Like, we can be really smart with video reach outs and use clever tools, and all those things are great. I'm not discounting them at all, but there's a high bar. There's a high standard for what it takes to convert an online lead in this day and age. And I hope you're sitting down, because the goal is 25 average reach out attempts per lead over a given year. I'll say it again. 25 on average attempts to reach out to a lead before they're going to transact or even meet with you, for crying out loud. So put everything else aside. If you're not just consistently and regularly making an attempt to talk to online leads that you've never had communication with before, don't stop until you've gotten to 25 or more. And what you can do, hopefully you have a CRM that's got a decent amount of reporting inside of it, or maybe you've got a CRM that allows other systems to link to it and interchange information. But look inside your database. Put yourself under the microscope. Go into that CRM and find out what you're really doing. It's likely to be an eye-opener for you, especially given that bar being set so high. And if you're way off, just start trying to get all of your leads up a little bit. Get them up to 5 average, get them up to 10, get them up to 15. Work your whole database up so that your average reach out attempts is moving towards 25. Going from 2 to 25 is going to be overwhelming, but just work on bringing that whole average up and you will see business come out the other end. Another thing to remember when we're talking about online leads, and this is even more so true with like a Facebook or a social media ad, but certainly with pay-per-click and the local business ads as well, is that this is a long conversion cycle. The average is 12 to 24 months with these leads. So you want to have the right mindset and mentality as you go about this, because if you're thinking, hey, I'm going to buy some leads today from Google and I'm going to be closing business tomorrow, you're going to be super disappointed. You're going to be let down. You're going to be frustrated and you're going to throw in the towel. Like, this is a long game. This is basically like farming, except it's digital, right? I mean, you can't go into a farming campaign and expect that to yield fruit on month 1, right? It's a long game, and these pay-per-click ads are too, hate to say it. So what are we gonna do to add value in the meantime? You're gonna have to have a lot of nurture, you're gonna have to have a lot of follow-up. And one of the things that was brought up today is simply DJing some content. Of course you wanna have your own content that you're putting out, you wanna offer good information, but if it's good information, it's good information. It doesn't have to be yours. So articles, video, market updates, real estate news pieces, whatever it is, you can pull it and you can post it, you can reuse it and put it, add it in a video. You can do a TikTok style green screen where you find something that's interesting and you talk about it. You don't have to be the one creating everything, but you should be the one considered the source of valuable information as it pertains to real estate. And that's a great way to stay in touch with people and to add value as you nurture your database. Another great thing to do is going to take a little bit of work, probably a lot of work depending on the size of your CRM, but utilize tags for neighborhoods, for property types, even for specific likes and dislikes. If you've got somebody who's into mountain biking or, whatever it is, use these tags. And then you can do a couple things. First of all, Google is your friend in this department as well, because you can set up alerts for various things. If you live at the coast and surfing and, different things like that is popular, and that you've got people in your database that are into that kind of thing, just create Google alerts for stuff like that, and you can send something to all these people that share the same interests one at a time saying, hey, I saw this today, it made me think of you, check it out, hope you're doing well. You don't even need to press in and ask for anything, just staying in front of them that way. The same thing goes with property types. Tag people with certain neighborhoods that you work, and add in another tag for maybe a home type, like a single family home or a condo. And then when you're out doing showings, show up a little bit early, stay a little bit late, record a property tour, and then do the same thing. Hey, I was walking through this condo in La Mesa today, and it really made me think of you. I figured I'd show it to you. I know your timing's not quite right now, but I thought you'd appreciate this. And then you send it to everybody that's interested in a condo in La Mesa with that tag, but one at a time. It's a personal touch, and it's a great way to stay in front of people. That's going to do it for today, talking about pay-per-click ads and that new relocation program. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to get certified and go to work on this thing. As usual, feel free to shoot me a message here. I'm happy to chat, talk a little bit more, or answer any questions you may have. Look forward to talking to you soon.